Welcome to Swimming with Sepsey, where we break down various life topics, bring on inspirational guests to talk about their lives, their experiences, and encourage you to swim through your own inner thoughts, emotions, and feelings to inspire a change within you that will hopefully lead to an outer change in your own personal reality. I ask that throughout this episode and all future episodes that you come with an open mind, an open heart, and a willingness to look at yourself in a different way and to look at the world in a different way. I'm grateful for each and every one of you that's tuned in this current moment, and I look forward to sharing many more moments with you. And with that, let's dive on in.
We're close.
All right, welcome to Swimming with Sepsey. I'm your host, Josh Sepsey, and I also have Nikki Tomacheski. I said that right, huh?
Yeah, Tomacheski.
Nice.
First try.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You remember that?
I do, yeah.
Nobody ever remembers.
It's a hard name.
Yeah.
I think it's just a spelling.
I don't even care, to be honest. Like, if people say it wrong, I just go with it.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure your dad's like his whole life.
Yeah, for real.
Anyways, if you can say her name right, that'd be great. Here on our first ever actual recorded episode, this is our second take, by the way. We are gonna have some fun outtakes, I guess we'd call them, or just raw of what we had. We have like some.
Yeah, real raw.
Real raw, yeah.
Really raw footage, or not footage. Sorry, not footage.
We might have
recording.
8 minutes of footage.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna use that though, but maybe for some social media. I don't know. Anyways, we took a whole take. We're also the audio visuals. We do everything as far as the audio, and so we're doing everything, and then also being the ones that do the podcast. I'm sure there's probably a lot of people like that, but we don't have any help. It's just us.
Starting from the bottom.
Now we here. So that's what happened. So second take. Anyways, the topic for today, and actually, still one of my favorite topics of all time. Actually, it is going to be one of my favorite topics to talk about just with anybody, because I love hearing people's perspectives. Does anyone really know why we're here? Or what's going on?
What the hell is going on? I don't. I don't at all, dude.
Do you have an inkling?
I have an inkling. I follow my heart.
What is it? It's real, but like it sounds so cliche.
It literally sounds. They're gonna be like, "All right, shut this shit up. Shut the fuck up." Like,
I follow my heart. Yeah,
no, really though. Sometimes I wonder about that because I hear a lot of just a lot of information, and then I'm so oh my gosh, overloaded with a lot of information that I just have to sit back and be accept that there's a lot going on in the world, not only just the effects of what's happening and how it shows up in our world, but just in the hearts and minds, because that's really where I go. Because I'll just see something on the news, or I'll just see, I don't know, just really in real life, just how people act, and every day I'm just damn, I don't know, sometimes I think we're really progressed and we're doing good, and then I just see some shit where sorry, I don't mean to say that word, but
I think you can swear.
Okay,
it's
cool. I don't want to.
I'm not your grandma.
Bro, but you're wearing the outfit that my grandma would wear. No, I'm just kidding.
Your grandma would wear a Velociraptor shirt.
She's dope, bro. Yeah,
this was my cousin's kid. I like to just call him my nephew.
Oh, nice.
It was his birthday, and we did a dinosaur-themed birthday.
Oh, that's cool.
And so everyone had dino shirts.
Yeah.
So I picked the Velociraptor.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really dope.
It fit.
I was going to say, it fits well on you, like physically, but also fits you as a person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It's like a little baby shirt. Like
crop top. But you are right. I mean, I think that's one thing that everybody deals with. And when they look at it, everyone's going to have their different perceptions of other people. But when you think about, when you're looking at how we've progressed, how we may have digressed, we have progressed. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were able to survive in just harsh conditions. We've pushed past disease, that's down, death is down, longevity is up, survival rate's up. I know literally we were at 6 or 7 billion people on this planet, and that just goes to show you that we've done something right in a sense of growing our species. I think we've done pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an issue with that. I think what the issue is, you know what I'm going to do, actually, because I can hear it, is we're going to do this. I'm going to kick this off. Click, click. Like I said, we're doing both things. So I think what the problem is that, we have this mentality still of this like individual survival, and it's come at a time where it's not how do I get my food, it's actually technically it's still in that sense. It's not how do I get my food, but how do I make money to get my food,
For real.
to get my shelter, to get this.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say, like, it is weird.
That's crazy. I've never thought of it like that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, dude, you literally just sparked something in me too, cause like it's almost like I got this like vision of some kind of like tree or something where, like, it's not directly like, hey, this is like the material that I need, or like it's like food in general is like what that would be, but like now it's like totally indirect. Now we're like going through this whole other, like another route, but it's really like taking us to the same place. I don't know. I just saw a diagram in my mind, but I was gonna say, yeah, like, comfort level, like, it's just weird that like our mindsets are still like so oldly, like, I want to say programmed, but like I don't know how people would think about that, like, or
I would say programmed. I mean, like, it's human nature.
Yeah.
Right? So we still have that in us of like, I mean, I'm sure it would take some time for us to get back to where we're hunters and gatherers, because we've really made ourselves as comfortable as possible. And that brings me back up when we were talking about how the reason why is we're afraid of our own mortality.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The like being afraid of like dying and dealing with our own death has caused us to create a comfort of life, because we want to live like everyone wants to live like a king, or feel like they have everything and just have an ease at getting what they want. And we've just maybe not forgotten, that we're all the same. We're all similar. We all feel, we all think, we all have a heart, we all die, and everyone wants that exact same thing. And it's interesting because we push on the realm, like on the space of like, when I was talking to my buddies the other night, we were talking about like, communism and socialism and those kind of sides, and how you get so far into communism, it can be a dictatorship where you have everyone's equal, has everything in a quote unquote sense, right?
Yeah.
It's really not really like that. Or then you have capitalism where you're, going after what you want, and freedom of doing certain things, and you can kind of create a business, and it's just kind of like, you're getting ahead of one another and going that route. And the systems that we've created have dwindled down the connection that we all share of being human at its base. It's caused this sort of displacement in the way we go about creating this comfort level for ourselves. And I really think it's sad to see how someone can have this excess of all of this shit. You could have 5 homes, you could have 30 cars, 20 cars, 10, even 10 cars. Who needs 10 fucking cars? Great to look at. What's your mileage on all of them? I put on like 20 miles on this one because I just wanted to drive it and to the movies.
Dude, for real. And some of the people that just like don't drive it at all.
They just collect them.
Yeah, they just collect them.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's a little different though, because then it's like I don't know.
You're not supposed to drive it. But I mean, I just think of like in my head, I'm like, it's a lot of resources that we just used.
It is.
For you to have this car.
Mm-hmm.
And you just spent probably enough to have like a median, a person have a median wage for like 3-4 years of their life. Like, what could that really do? And there's probably a lot of people that are like, well, I earned it, I deserved it, I did that. And I'm like, I get that, good for you. I have no problem with you going out and doing that. It doesn't bug me. I see both sides, because fuck, I want to have a car like that. I want to do that. I want to, get that kind of stuff. It's something I have. Mm-hmm. I also see the other side of it. It's like, well, there's just better ways that we could go about creating it. I don't know. I don't have like an idea of how to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe yet. But there's like, we've literally got here by just thinking things into fruition. That concept of manifestation. That, I don't like that these animals are killing my family. I don't like that this food kills me and gives me bad diarrhea.
It's like such
so
a
let's cook it.
mild emotion, like I don't like this, but this is killing me. I need to do something about this.
That's really it. It's like, I just don't like this. I want to change it. Okay, so I have a thought. How can I change it? Oh, I'll try this. Trial and error. Scientific method.
For real, like there's always like these like drives of emotion, like you just said, like or disliking something. You don't want it, you do want it, but then like you were kind of I think you were getting somewhere talking about intention behind it, like, and like, I don't know, we just, as we've progressed and like become more aware and conscious about things, and like I feel like intention just needs to be there in everything that you do or like think, like,
oh yeah,
but it is hard to like know and be on like on the same equal plane as everybody else, like for everybody to be on the same page. Like that's why we like built these systems of like capitalism, communism, and then like that's why like you see the dark sides of both. Like you're gonna see like it's hard to maintain something, like you have this idea, but like life is always just like happening like in all directions like all the time. So I feel to really control that, like that's what people try and like maybe control even in these like large systems that we have like already in place. And then like you said, it's like that, it's just like knowing you're gonna die. Like we're all like trying to make some comfort with that like reality of like, yeah, so I want this to feed this like feeling that I'm having. But everybody is doing that on an individual level. Mm-hmm. So it's just like rippling to like us together. And so many times I've asked myself, like, it's such like a beautiful, like, I don't know, story that I think about, like humans just being like, yeah, we almost can't live together in a sense, like, because like look at how far we've come, like all these like different societies and stuff, like has anyone really like lasted? No. But right, like not that I know of, I don't know, but
we've only been here in a short amount of time.
that's true, you were telling me that. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy to think of too.
Yeah, but if anyone's ever watched it, the Neil deGrasse Tyson, he does a thing where he puts the entire span from the Big Bang to where humans are. And the Big Bang starts like January 1st. He puts it on the whole calendar, and he goes through it, and he talks about how we're literally, I'm pretty sure it's either the last minute or last like 30 seconds of December 31st, and that's where like humans were born.
That's insane.
Humans were there, like we're first, and then like technology was like last like 10 milliseconds. So like we haven't been here that long, but like we also don't have that long of lives.
Yeah.
So like our perception of time in comparison to the universe is very small.
Yeah.
And it definitely changes. That's why I love like certain cartoons where like I'm fucking 7,000 years old. Like,
dude, it's so funny your mind went to cartoon too, because like I was literally thinking of ants or one of those like old like cartoons, like fucking Bugs Life or something. Because when I would watch those shows, I would
Bugs
always...
Life was the shit. That was the shit.
Dude,
that was such a good movie.
It's such a good movie, but it's like their whole lives and their whole adventure, like in their time frame, like they're tiny, right? Like, and like we could talk about vibration and stuff and like levels of existence. Like who knows like how it all works, but like I see these tiny like beings and they're like thinking time, like they're going through this like whole like war, I think, like with the grasshoppers and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like
for
food, yeah, exactly, for food. And then that to us is literally like a second, but that for them is like their whole lives. And like for us, we're just like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird that it expands like that. But that's like something I always think about is like this tiny scale, like our scale, because we're on a scale of infinity. So
I love that you said that on a scale of infinity. That part too, the expansion aspect. Like I love that you brought that up because it really is. Everything is an expansion of ourselves, first and foremost. Anything that's ever been created is an expansion of our brains. And an expansion of things that we thought of. We're like, I thought of this, I experimented with it, I tried it, it worked, didn't work. I made adjustments based on what came to me, what I felt would work, and now I have an airplane. Or now I have this computer chip, now I have this phone, now I have this wheel, creating the wheel, now I have fire, right? So like that process is all just an expansion of it. So like as a collective, humanity, we all have to take blame for everything that we've created. And not take blame, but just take responsibility. Let's put it that way. We all have to take responsibility for where we're at today.
Yeah.
There's no one where it's like, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault.
Piece of the pie.
Everyone, we're all responsible.
Yeah.
And, you know, I may have only been alive for 28 years. Maybe I have something to contribute in that time frame, right? In my lifespan, maybe I'll have more to contribute. But like you think about like ancestors, it's like, well, it's just humanity as a whole. Like, it's a touchy topic, but like getting into the subject of like racism, like that always baffles me. Like, what is that? Like, does anyone know why that's still going on?
It's just
that like. I grew up, like my household was a split. I mean, yours was a split too, right? Like you're, part half Mexican, half white, I guess. I would say that way. Yeah, so like being Puerto Rican and having like a Puerto Rican African American side of the family and then like a completely white side of the family, like that to me was never. It was just this is it. This just is. So like I don't understand. But I can see our perspective is also like learned abilities and things like that. It's a very touchy thing, but like also why does it have to be a touchy thing?
Yeah.
Why do we blow it up to where it's such a big deal? It's really not.
Yeah.
You bleed like I bleed. You have the same organs. I have the same organs. There's no. You have a heart, I have a heart. You have a brain, I have a brain.
Well, yeah, dude. And there's also so many factors behind it, too. Because, like, I feel like white people are... I don't even know if there's a better way that I can, like, say... Maybe, like, maybe even conquistadors probably coming, too. Like, it starts probably with, like... I think we were...
Conquistadors?
Yeah. Right?
What do you mean by conquistadors? Like the
like
English?
Like the people from
Spaniards?
Europe coming to...
there you go. Europe.
I guess, yeah. Coming to...
I feel like it's more like...
Sorry, bro. I didn't know. I don't exactly like who do we blame? Like where does it all come from?
Who do we blame? Well, we blame ourselves. We're
Exactly,
responsible.
bro. But it's like okay, that's hilarious. No, it does actually come back to like, yeah, we did some shit. But I was gonna say like, well, I had a train of thought, but I was gonna say like, there's always like this guilt to like, where we were just maybe like following along this like, maybe manifest destiny, like whatever, like we had this inclination of like, we need this, we're progressing forward, and that's like all we were thinking about. And then, but that with that comes like a shit ton of darkness and like, you know, evil, like whatever you want to call it. Because it is like you're enslaving other people.
The care and the empathy.
Yeah.
Like when we were talking earlier, it was like there's a part of you, like you have those thoughts where it's like, you have the thought of, you know, should I go out and do this? I should be productive today. Maybe I should go do that. Part of your thoughts are like, I kind of just want to, you know, hang out and do nothing. And then there's a part of your thoughts that are like, what the hell are you doing? You're a lazy piece of shit. You don't do anything with your life, you know. And then you're also projecting that on other people, like, I don't care about what you're doing. You're like, I hire you here to either make money or here to grow this. Like, but also to the survival aspect, like, I have a family to feed, right? Family can quote unquote be either like your immediate family or I have a community to look after.
Yeah.
You know, and so people do certain things that back in the day they would do certain things because they were like, I have this going on. I feel like you're unimportant, you know, and so they just have this low empathy, you know, aspect. But now that we've gone the entire globe, it's like that still is a resonance, and we just don't let things go. As humans, we don't let things go.
We don't know how to, bro. We were never taught how to let things go. Literally everything, I think, like, with what we learn is, like,
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on to stuff. Like, I don't know, just even the people in your life, like, you're always gonna, you want to know, like, I guess it's like the dream in a way. You're selling some kind of dream, like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna be here forever. I'm gonna have this perfect, like, but you
was just thinking that. I was like, well, it's because, like, they don't want to die.
Yeah.
I'm holding on to my memories. I'm holding on to these things, good and bad.
Yeah, but the key is, like, you have to live in the moment because things are gonna change like, they're bound to change. And then, but I was gonna say something else too. I kind of forgot. But, see, I'm not living in the moment, bro. I was thinking too much but it'll come up if it needs to come up.
Yeah, and I think, like, I'm hoping that someone just comes along and says, I know exactly what's going on here. Like, I hope it's just like, this is why you guys are here.
But that's what we're always looking for, bro. We're looking for a savior all the time, being like, can someone else tell us what's going on? But it's really inside of us, like.
Don't hurt my heart, man.
Don't hurt my heart.
You're so right. You're bro, so right.
You know this, though.
It's very true. Yeah, you're right.
We all know it. Yeah. We just have to remember it. It's a matter of remembering. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a balance. Everything's a balance.
Yeah, hence the Libra scales. I love that too. We literally. If this could be, could you imagine? Like, could you imagine a world where we all have a common goal, and it's to ensure the survival of, maybe survival of humanity is a different thing because we've survived pretty well. If we had the common goal of making sure that everything has those immediate, like, you know, have you seen, like, Maslow's what is it? The hierarchy.
Oh, is this?
What's
Are you
it,
talking about like psychology or something?
Well, it's like the hierarchy of needs.
Oh yeah.
Is Haslow? What's his name? Haslow, something like that.
We could.
We can Google it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Google it really quick.
But I know who you're talking about. Maybe Harlow? Not Harlow.
No, it's like the hierarchy of needs table. I'm pretty sure it's.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Maslow's
Okay,
hierarchy of
Maslow's,
needs.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, if we were able to just do this, if we had a common goal of like, okay, we need to make sure air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. Physiological. Safety needs, that part. Those two things, like if we just had the base and we were like, common goal, we want to make sure this is for everybody. How do we make that happen? And then the hard part is the separation that we've created with ourselves.
Yes. That's what I was going to say, because I feel like, all right, probably at the core of all these ideas, like we can even take it back to communism, just as an example. Like that's a brilliant idea. It's like, okay, everybody's going to get like the same,
Sure.
like whatever, equal, like, I don't know.
I'm going to be careful by saying communism is a brilliant idea.
I know, but like I said, as an idea though, not in fruition, as an idea.
The way it actually works doesn't seem very helpful.
It doesn't, because
you have no basic freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
As a person,
you're thought of as like a tiny little fucking insect.
It's just okay. Well, everyone has everything.
Yeah.
Except for everybody that's in charge. We all have way more than you.
Yeah.
And so there's like this. All the systems are fucked. All the systems.
Yeah,
I would say all of them are. They don't work anymore.
And that's what. That's one thought I was gonna say.
Family reunion for saying that one time.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was bad.
That's why they say, bro. You can't talk about politics. Let's just eat our. Let's just like.
I just want to eat it. I'm
shove food in our mouths right now and just ignore everything.
It was so funny, like literally. I was just like, I'm honestly like, I'm not asking you to accept what I believe or what I'm thinking. I'm not asking you to take it as like the way. And that's one thing I want to say through this entire podcast. I will never ever tell you to believe or think what I think, because I think that's complete bullshit. Believe and think whatever the hell you want to think and follow that and let that be your drive. Let that be your heart. But all I'm asking, have an open mind. Don't shut out what you hear because it doesn't fit with you. Right? I'm not asking you to take it on as you or anything like that. I'm just asking you to be open to it. Just be like, that's possible. Or maybe. Who knows? I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've really always tried to just instill when I have conversation with people. Like, I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to push anything on you, which is like what half of us are doing, what the majority of us are doing to everyone every day.
Dude, you know what's crazy too? And like, I don't know, just sharing ideas with people and stuff. And like, we could even take it back to like racism. Because as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, have an open mind. Because like, even that too, like, was a part of the problem. Like, we don't want to listen to each other's, even like culture, lifestyle, all those things, like, bleed into it. Like, we just think like, no, my way is the only way, like, or I'm superior in some kind of way, like. But once you that's key, bro.
Goes to control.
Because once people start losing control of stuff, like, people get scared, and then fear is the driving force. Like you said, you have a desire, fear is always gonna top everything. Like, even empathy, like, your fear is gonna go over being like, well, I know this is the right choice, or maybe you know in your heart what the right thing to do is, but fear is a motherfucker,
you're afraid of going back home
bro.
And being like, what the fuck, why didn't you do what I told you to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that voice, that fear, like, that going home, if it's your family, if it's your community, whatever, like, that voice is no one but yourself too at the same like, so yeah, because oftentimes there's a lot of things I'm always worried about, and then like I just communicate well, like, emotionally to the people around me that are involved in situations, and then I just realize like, oh, this person like wasn't even feeling that, or that was like a misunderstanding that I had. So yeah, being open to like ideas and stuff, and sharing, and like holding space for others, like, it's cool. Because like, I was gonna say this too, like, even people, like, thoughts that I've never thought of, like, if you have an open mind, like, you know how much that can open you up to, like, other things to, like, make sense? Like, why not use that as a tool? It helps you,
Yeah.
like, resourcefully. Like,
Yeah.
you could think of it that way. Like, if you think, like, oh, no, this is gonna, like, I can't go against my own way of being because it's gonna hurt me. Like, no, the more open you are, like, the more you have to, like, I don't know, understanding. And if we talk about that triangle, you just, like, keep, I don't know. Yeah.
Maslow's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're getting into like esteem and loving
Yeah,
and
yeah.
belonging. So
Maybe
you're going
yeah.
right up to it. Yeah. And that's very true. I mean, I love the fact that you were like, the openness is what can teach you things. Because it can.
Mm-hmm.
If you close yourself off, how are you going to learn new things, right? Why limit yourself? Why
Mm-hmm.
limit what you know and take it as is? And I want to say again, it goes right back to fear. Their entire world, everything they've believed in for so long, like if you talk to people that are maybe older or have this, or there's families instilled this belief, if you tell them like something different, it could shatter their world. Which is why I love mushrooms. Why I love mushrooms so much, because it's not like I'm having to tell you anything.
I know.
It's just like, take this.
For real.
Here's a good 1.5 grams, 2 grams. Go sit with yourself. I don't even have to tell you anything.
Yeah.
It'll just come. You'll come back to me like, oh, I love everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you do.
It's so crazy, bro. Mushrooms, we could go all,
We could.
we could go in on that too.
We should make that a topic.
We should. I won't go too far into it, but just to go back to, like, what you're saying, like, almost having some kind of awakening, like, that shattering people's lives, like, or I guess sense of themselves and, like, their own universe of reality, like, perception and stuff. Like, yeah, dude, that just, everything gets flipped, turned, like, upside down, like, every angle. Just, like, it just gets totally morphed into something else. And, like, you need that, though. You need that to evolve. Like, you can't, or else you're just stagnant.
Yeah. And it's, I wonder, here's the thing. I wonder if the reason why we resist internal change is because in our outer world, we have no control. You can't control what the government's about to do. You can't control what another country's about to do. You can't control what the person outside. I can't control what you're going to do. Like, I can't control what my cat's going to do. She's over here sleeping.
Just, like, knock over the
Yeah, like, comes over and just knocks stuff over. It goes on a rampage, turns
Yeah.
into Stitch. Just,
Oh, yeah.
like, you can't. So what can you control? You can control your own self. You can control your own beliefs. And so when something goes against it, you're feeling like your control is being taken away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're feeling like, oh my God, they just attacked me. And so I have to lash back. Mm. Instead of like being open and being like, well, okay, that's great. I don't believe in that. Maybe you're shedding some light on some things. But that's really like, if you think about it, that fact that you can't control anything, when all we strive to do is control, which is how we've gotten here. I don't know why we're here. If you do, send me a message.
That's hilarious. For real, dude.
I'm sure, and here's the great part. Send me what you believe your purpose is. I would love to hear that.
That'd be cool too.
And and then I like just run with it. Like, that's great. I think if you can find your own individual purpose, or feel like you have some strive, this is why I'm here. It allows you to be more present in life. Mm. You can find. That's why people are like, find your purpose. Go find your dream. Go toward your dream. Right? You have that. Some people actually don't have that luxury, which is really sad. But in my belief, I have a feeling all 6 to 7 billion of us play a part in some way, shape, or form with humanity, with the overall well-being of the world. Mm. There's some people that may disagree and say we're overpopulated. COVID-19. There's some things like that literally were like, people talk about population control. Mm. It's like, how does that even become a thought? How does that even be? how does that become a thing? Like, we're just going to kill off masses of people? We're going to do it silently. We're going to do it stealthily so they just think it's an epidemic or something else is going on. Right?
Yeah. I was, like, recently talking to somebody about, like, Hitler, too. And I can't remember exactly what he said, but he, like, asked a question, like, yeah, like, did Hitler, like, want to kill all these people or something? But where did these even come from? Because it's, like, this isn't the first time people have wanted to kill, like, masses of people. Like, that's just been there. And, like you said, the way that it's going about, like, with COVID-19 and, like, that's how you know what I mean? Like,
that's how you do it. And then you start a war. And a war starts. I feel for those people because, like, you wake up. That's war. That's what you're seeing. That's your reality.
mm-hmm.
You know? You may not want to do it in your heart. You may not want to kill them. But you also know if you don't, they're going to kill me. You also know if I go against these orders, I don't have a lot. Like, my life's over. Like, I can't. I lose my country. Like, you there's so many different facets that you, like, put yourself in this position.
Mm-hmm.
But I also believe it could be your purpose. You know, people that die in mass accidents. Like, was that really meant to happen? Like, maybe.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's crazy, dude. I was just thinking about, like, the military, too, because, like, I don't know a lot about what it's like, but, like, all that training you go through, literally just, like, everything about your body, like, pushing you past the limit of, like, people, like, I mean, we could say yoga and all these things, like, to get more in tune with yourself is doing the same thing, but, like, military camp is, like, literally you're dedicating yourself to something bigger than you, and that does fall into purpose.
Yeah.
But then it's like, yeah, there's so many other things that are going into it, like some other person's idea of what we should do as a country. Like, who are those decisions, like, really, like, in the hands of,
God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because yesterday we were talking last night, and he was like, you know, my buddy was like, if you really, like, we can really make a change is put a term limit on the people that sit in Congress and the judges. He said, because you have people that are sitting in there that are over 70 years old. I mean, Biden's,
that's
like,
so
pushing
true.
that much. And it's like, you know, I talked to some of these people on the phone at that age. Their minds, like, are almost completely gone. Like, some of them you have a lot of issues built up. You're not as quick. You're not as focused. You're falling asleep during a meeting. Like, people fall asleep in that shit all the time, and then they can't even answer questions. It's like, how are we going to continue to let these people decide for us or run the country?
That is really true.
They are the ones that make, and then it goes to, well, where's the money coming from? Because what's money going to do?
Yeah.
Money's going to buy your food. Money's going to make your family survive. Money's going to get you this comfort of your life. So, you know, you're going to take it. You were talking about yesterday, too, of, like, you know, people that take on endorsements of certain companies that may be terrible companies, but they're paying you thousands, if not millions of dollars to do it. Of course. You're going to be like, oh, I only have to do this for like 10 seconds on camera? Yeah, fuck it, why not? All I have to say is I'm going to Disney World?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're talking, like, because now you're talking about, like, an image of a person and what that person represents, right? And then that's how you actually manipulate the whole masses. Because, look, once it's like, we don't know too much, and then it comes through media, and then media is really just like, hey, look over here, look over here, look over here.
Media is filtered. Like, you can't talk about certain things. Like, if you talk about certain things, your whole, you know... There's people that own the media companies, and they're like, no, I don't want you to talk about that because that's going against what I have, my agenda.
Yeah.
People talk about the agenda.
For real.
Like that.
No, dude, it's crazy.
Just a deep breath. Like,
for real, because it feels so, like, out of our hands. Like, it literally feels like, how do I even know what I'm even saying now isn't some, like, thought that someone else put into my... You know what I mean? Like...
Some Inception shit.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It could be. I mean, it's possible. Well, like, they talk about, like, that it's hearsay. Of, like, you know, someone says something and you take it as belief. Which, again, that's why I state, just have an open mind. You don't have to take it as face value unless you experience it in your life to be true.
Dude, you're opening me up to another layer of what we brought up earlier. Like, did you call it hearsay? That's what that's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because, dude, yeah, if it's someone you trust, like, you look up to, like, that's so easy to just be like, take that as, like,
faith. Yeah,
I could be like,
that's fact.
Exactly. Like, my grandpa tells me, like, work hard every day. Like, I'm going to listen to him and be like, yeah, this is my idol right here.
Yeah.
But back to, like...
Your grandpa could tell you that, red's purple and purple's red. You'd be like, your whole life, like, you'd be calling that... Oh, actually, that's kind of like a pinkish. Like,
what is this?
It's like, actually, what is it? Magenta?
We don't even know. Like, yeah, what the
Like,
hell?
you would call that, like... My dad told me that was blue growing up.
But that's even thing, like, about perception in general. Not half these people, I was going to say... More like there are people who are colorblind out there.
Yeah.
So it is
well, I'm not talking about like color. I'm just talking about like going back to your process of like, they told you one thing and you just believed it as fact.
Mm.
And this brings up religion, because religion is really that.
Yeah.
It is calming your fear of death. Is what religion really is. It's preparing you for afterlife, so that way you have this sense of I'm okay. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be more. There's gonna be something there. I totally believe in that. I totally believe that there's something outside of this physical human experience that I'm having on this planet. Totally believe that. The way that it's been portrayed.
Dang, someone is missing their Uber Eats right now.
Seriously.
They're like, get your food. I'm trying to leave.
Hello, Linda. Gotta go. But they, damn, that horn actually took me right off train.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, because I could bring you back, bro. You were talking about religion and the comfort of...
You actually brought me back, yeah.
All right, cool.
Cool.
I got you.
Thanks, appreciate you. That's
I got you, dude. That's why I'm here, bro.
Yeah. Sorry, you made me cry. And so that comfort aspect comes from, knowing there's a higher power, there's something else out there, and then the reason there's multiplicities of it, just so many different religions out there. You have... I don't even know like the actual number. I just know it's a lot. But they all, at its very core, are really preparing you for an afterlife, having some sort of afterlife. And also instilling different morals, different values, being a good person, taking care of thy neighbor, taking care of thy community, these kinds of things, they instill things on you, and they have a great purpose for that. I don't think there's any, reason to just totally go against religion. Maybe organized religion. I mean, I'm not a fan. I don't follow organized religion. This is a whole other subject itself. I believe in a, spiritual afterlife. I have that, but I've also had a lot of experience that kind of have cored that in my memory, and we'll talk about another time. So... Oh, this is one thing, too, that I brought up, is the organized religion and the government, all governments, actually. Throughout all of history, they've always been together, right? Because they both seek to do the same thing, to govern the people. We're going to tell them what to do. You're going to tell them how to live, how to think, how to be nice. We're going to make sure that they're in line. We're going to make sure that they're... going towards one goal for each other. We're organizing the way the funds are spread. We're organizing this kind of thing. We're governing laws. We're doing all this, making sure that there's not chaos, anarchy, which I highly doubt if we were living in a place like maybe now, because of how wound up people are, we might live in a place of anarchy and chaos, but we've also done that to ourselves, and I feel like there's people that have certain agendas that did that on purpose to instill more security and laws onto our own human rights. But anyways, you have that, and then you also have this sector of church, which is, this is what you believe. We're calming your fear of death, and at the same time instilling your safety, while also fear of other things that might aid you. So we're telling you this country's bad, this country wants to kill you, or these people are this, and this and this and this. And you're just taking it as belief. Well, they've always been there. They've always done that. So those two things, when they come together, they're very powerful. And I believe, when you have this, like, we came to this country to divide church and state, to let everybody to just do and believe in whatever you want to believe. I fucking love that. I think that's a great idea. I think that's just life in general. Believe whatever the hell you want to believe. If you want to believe that you're going to go into an afterlife with unicorns and rainbows and you're going to be this great like, just, I don't know, riding down mountains full of ice cream, fuck yeah. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. What kind of ice cream is on your mountain? Like, I want to know. Yeah. Like, I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
Believe that. I don't like the idea that we still shove beliefs in people's faces.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me still.
Yeah, dude. I definitely agree that to a certain extent. But then I just thought of, like, so, like, if we were to, like, just completely censor born, not have any kind of, like, direction of what's going on. Because, like...
Good point.
You know what I mean? Because, like, even, like, your parents can be, like, that government. Like, if we're just thinking on an individual level, too, like, they're both church and, like, government that you're describing. Like, those are your parents. But you're not looking at it as, like, a community when you're, like, a little kid. But then, so you still have this, like, guidance of, like, oh, I want to believe this. Because we all kind of, I feel like probably the intention behind why people were like, yeah, let's, bring people together, kind of be on the same page, was so we can have, like, some common understanding. Because I feel like, yeah, like, if we all just started from nothing, no, like, influence from somewhere else, like, we could all be on our own, like, realities and be, like, completely separated from each other in that way, where it's like, oh, yeah, you're, like, thinking about ice cream and, like, all this other stuff, and then this person over here is, like, in a completely different other state and, like, reality. But, like, to understand each other, like, because I'm sure, like, each mind, like, if it was born and, like, just had the freedom to just believe whatever, like, who knows, like, if it would go bad or good, but then I feel like that's where, like, the influence of, like, a higher, like, source or something has to be, because I feel like they would eventually maybe mesh into something similar, because, like, all right, so I know I'm kind of explaining this kind of bad, but let's say you have, like, one individual and another individual, like, no history of time or whatever, we're just starting from, like, brand new, and then this one has the freedom to think whatever it wants, this one has the freedom to think whatever it wants, and these are, like, individuals. I feel it might end up being maybe something similar, I guess, maybe depending on what it is, like, if it's two humans, or, like, maybe it's a grasshopper and a human or something. You know what I mean? Like, it would definitely be, like...
I feel like to some extent, there's definitely I'm not saying there's not a necessity. There's definitely a necessity to have that guidance when you're young, because you don't know how to be. You don't know how to act around others. You don't really know how to communicate very well. When you're young, you're kind of just like, this is the truth. You look like this, or you the manners aspect isn't necessarily the respect. Right, isn't necessarily ingrained in a human at that point. You're just kind of like, and they're kids, so you're like, whatever, it's a kid, And then as it grows older, it's like, okay, you got to learn some respect. You can't just go around telling people this crap. You can't just go around saying, hey, you're an asshole. Yeah, maybe you can.
I've come across a lot of those kids.
They're still out there.
Yeah, dude.
But I think to the point of belief system, I feel like if you say you had a child and you gave him the opportunity and you just told him, what do you believe? You just asked. I'm sure earlier on they'll probably say some crazy thing, right? As they grow older, if you continue that question and not introduce them to anything, I almost guarantee you that they will want to just explore different religions, because they're like, well, I don't have like a actual base to go off of, right? I don't have, I was raised Catholic and I went to church every Sunday. I don't have that, right? I don't have, I'm going to a synagogue, I'm going to a temple and praying. Like, I don't have that from my childhood days to be like, this is my baseline. I don't have a baseline. Do you feel like this person that would now just go and explore and find out what their baseline is and their belief is, and then create it that way, right? Yeah. I feel like that's what happened. I mean, personally, that's what I would do. Yeah. But I'm also one that really likes to learn shit. So,
dude, I feel the same exact way. Cause like if I was a parent, that's what I would want to do. But then I just started thinking of like, okay, well, what kind of foundation do you have to have? And like where I think that might be where like people split into different like perceptions of how they think. Because even if like you brought up respect, like let's just say like, yeah, you teach these kids like, you know, no religion, no like just no ounce of any influence of like what to believe except for like some basic principles. Like I don't know if even you, because I was asking the question like, at what point do we like say I'm gonna just totally back off and let my kid like think whatever? Because like at that point you were right, like, you know, like at some part of their growth, they would have to eventually learn like respect if we're all gonna live together in like a civil way.
Teach them discipline and respect early on, you know.
But that foundation though is like what I'm like. Where can we like agree on some solid foundation of where we could all get along? And I do think that's probably what they were trying to do with all that stuff. Like, I feel like the intention might have been good at some point with, like, government and religion, but then,
it probably was. I mean, it was protecting people.
Yeah.
You know, it was the government. You know, we have a lot of people, you know, now there's, you know, we're living longer. I'm sure at some point they were like, okay, we need to instill something to be able to govern this many people at one time. Like, there's just no way. There's no way that we can do that. How are we going to keep a country, the people loyal to a country? I do country in air quotes because they're all imaginary lines anyways. But if you have a country and keep people loyal, you have to create some sort of set of rules. You have to, you know, and then these people abide by those. And as people grow up and die and they're having kids, like, then those kids just kind of follow in line. And we just teach them, we educate them throughout the school systems of what this is here, why this is here, what's this for, what this does, right? Mm-hmm. And then they just follow along. We've gone to a place of, we've created a place of where people now just follow. Kids just follow. There's people that break out and then turn into leaders or do something and create something totally new. But the very beginning, they want you to just kind of go along. Mm-hmm. Which is why people say, are you living the American dream? And you're going to school, going to college, you find a degree, you get this, blah, blah, blah. Do you have a kid? Do you have a family? Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? Well, what if I don't want that? What if I never wanted that? What if that's not the way to do things? I love the what ifs because as a kid, my mom said, "Why are you asking so many what ifs?"
I remember having that same conversation, bro. And then my mom, just to get me to shut up, would just be like, "Well, what ifs? Like, there is no what if." Like, they would just start to say, like, "No what ifs this." Like,
which is great because like, does anyone really know why we're here? Does anyone know what's going on? Like, we really don't. There's some people that will say, even the ones, and this is great. Even the ones that are in charge or have this agenda or are understanding, you know, those, because there's somebody out there, there's people out there that have these plans that take it to people in power and they get enacted and they go undercover or stealthy. We've experienced, we know psychology, we know how to control people, we know how to create mass hysteria. We've studied these things in sociology and psychology. We know how to do that to people. We have these, you know, crazy scientific advancements where, you know, we can make a disease that's only going to target certain things in your body. You can have a cell that's going to target this. Like, we've done this. We have incredible technology. And the people that are in charge that understand how to do this are the ones that, like, make the call. They're a person just like you and me. And here's the thing. Well, maybe they're not. Honestly, they could be an alien. I'm honestly full on that they could be an alien.
Yeah, bro.
It's very possible.
I could see us all being aliens.
Me too.
I don't know. Yeah, it is weird though to think that we would come up with some explanation like that to be like, you're not even human. You're so evil in a way to where I don't even believe that we're made of the same thing. Because how can you like, how could
you do that?
Yeah, how can you do that?
How do you live with
Yeah.
that? Like, they must just be really good at letting go.
Dude, that's another thing I was thinking about the other day, and we keep circling around letting it go, bro.
Yeah.
So so we're talking about individuals, like you're about to say there's these people in power, but they're an individual as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like
they have thoughts, they have, feelings, they have a heart,
Yeah.
they have emotions. Yeah.
But letting go, dude, you can get to a point, I think, of like you're so good at letting go, you completely detach from what you're feeling. And that's hard too, because like it's a good thing to let shit go. But like, how do you know like what to hold on to? And that may be like somewhere where
that's where religion comes in.
Yeah.
The morals and values, right? Would that kind of be where that comes in from? Is like, we're here to keep on love and blah 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 and those kinds of things, right? But like, even those people, like, they're doing all these things, but if you were to ask them like why, I wonder if they would even have an answer.
Yeah, it might be something
It'd
so
probably be
like
just
because I just felt like there's some yeah.
I didn't know what else to do with my money.
Yeah, something like that,
Just
dude.
seriously, like, I wanted this to go for me this way, or like, I didn't like the way this was, so I did something. They're creating their own comfort with their resources.
And dude, back to the aliens thing, I could see that being like, if we were to really think of aliens not as like beings, as like, like whatever, like if you think of it as like these influences, like I could totally see these people being aliens, because what is taking over your consciousness in a way to be so like disassociated like that, to just be like, yeah, like you said, they're creating so much of their comfort because they're all the way on this side of the scale, like so like comfort, you know what I'm saying, that they're not feeling anything, that they can't feel anything.
They're like, I'm already,
because they have everything that they want, but you always need that like other side of the spectrum to keep you balanced.
I like that you said the other forces, because it sparked I'm trying to think of the president. Who was it? It was back in the day. These documents are out there where they had a meeting with two different separate alien races. One was called the Greys. I'm sure you might have heard of them. And one was called Ashtarians, something like that. And there was like, one side with their Greys were like offering us like, we'll show you this type of technology, these advancements, blah, 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 for humanity, but you have to let us experiment on you. And like, and then abductions started. No, and then the other one was offering like, we'll show you guys like enlightenment. We'll show you guys like how to expand consciousness and reach that enlightenment within each individual. We'll teach you how to do that.
Dang.
And we chose they chose technology. And then there's like, then there's just been meetings and all these things like, throughout the eons where people are like, yeah, we're meeting with aliens, we're meeting with other entities. I fully believe in that. I fully believe when there's other forces at work that are like pushing you or incepting thoughts. Maybe they have a different ability with consciousness and with the energy that we can't see or understand, but we can feel it. Like, I can feel when you're sad or angry or mad or happy or joyful. Like, you can just feel that in somebody. Or peaceful. You can feel when someone's peaceful or anxious.
Yeah.
Right? They might have a higher way of being like Inception. I fucking love that movie.
I do too, bro. That's such a good one. Well, yeah, dude, that's so cool that you say that, because, for a second there, I was thinking like, damn, really, aliens? Like, can we think about them like this? But then what you just said, and I was like, that's such a human, like, ego-limiting thought to have, is like, we're the most advanced beings here to be like, yeah, we're the only ones to be able to do this. And like, some other force has to be this thing that I can't see. Yes. But dude, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like,
we can't. So it's President Eisenhower. I wanted to find that. President Eisenhower. That's the president. So if you want to look it up, you can look it up. But yeah, they're out. It's definitely out there. But that is a good thing to think. Like the fact, like, are aliens? What are we also the aliens?
That's what I always jump back between two. Is like
Are we also
we
part of
can
that?
be, right?
We also part of that.
If those guys, I forget what they're called.
Why are they so obsessed with Earth?
There's something special about Earth. I don't know
There
yet.
is something special about Earth. We are special.
We are pretty special. It's probably that. Well, there's probably a million planets like Earth, but not maybe in this region of the universe. I don't know where this region is, like, relative to anything, but, you know, we're out there. We're fucking out there.
Oh God.
Damn, are you okay?
Yeah, I hit that. These are like a helmet. They're pretty big.
Okay,
and bulky,
nice.
so I'm sorry. Okay.
You're, like, more worried about the microphone.
I am.
You're like a bruise.
It's like, special equipment.
No, I feel that.
Special equipment. I honestly, you ever like have that thought where you're like, I just wish an alien would like come in front of me and like I would beat them. You were like, if aliens came, I'd be like, yeah, I want to meet you.
Yeah, I would. See, that's the thing. I would totally be down to talk to aliens. I would probably just do whatever they wanted me to do. But that's just me. That's just me as a person. I need to rise above that. I need to rise above that.
Get out of your human nature, bro.
But like, I don't know.
Why would you do? We were just talking about like freedom and like not doing.
Because like it's an alien. I would just be like, yes, you can have me whatever way you want. See, now I'm just taking it to a different level. But yeah, dude, I feel that way. Like, you're like, all right. You're obviously, like, superior.
What if they just gave you a ray gun and were like, destroy your human race?
Okay, I wouldn't let that happen. There's only some things I would let happen. It depends on what the alien was trying to do and what he would say to me.
Yeah.
Or he or she, they, like, whatever.
Yeah,
They don't even have gender. They're way too advanced to have gender.
Are we putting our own projections onto aliens?
That, we are, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, they could be something completely, like, their whole map of, what they want to happen for the universe, they could be somewhere completely different, and we're just like, yeah, they're trying to do this to us, but we're just like really just fucked up in the head, man.
They like don't actually even care anymore.
Yeah, they don't even care. Yeah, it's
what
probably...
if oh my God, that's a great other question too. What if
Shout out to Mom.
they were here and we got out of we just took it to a whole different space, developing nuclear technology, ability to wipe out the entire planet, and they're interfering. I love the concept of like souls returning to Earth. You have the why can't I think of the name? What's
like reincarnation or something?
Thank you. Yeah, reincarnation. Yeah. Like your soul's coming back. And I love that idea of, well, I didn't learn anything then, or I have to relearn this, or I have to learn this to kind of excel. And I like the idea, I like the idea, it may not be the idea, because as I said, don't really know what's going on here, of us being like just a school of morals, values. We're going through life and we're experiencing it in physical form, able to experience all emotions at one time, dealing with a dichotomy, being able to make choices, and these choices then, and our intentions and the energy that we have with the choices, then create our reality. And based on the way that our reality has been, determines the way that you either excel and enlighten out of here and don't ever come back to Earth in terms of reincarnation, or you come back over multiple times because maybe you made these certain choices that weren't there, that didn't align with, maybe the future way of society's being or living. Sorry, my cat just kind of rolled over and kind of plopped near us. Hi, sweetie. Yes, Freya. But like that would be something that, like, I would say, would be an interesting way of what's actually going on. And there's these other forces that are like, we have to kind of keep this in play, because if you guys destroy yourselves, some of these souls that have come out of here that are in this species race now, that are now, you know, this part of consciousness reached this galaxy and created this alien. You know, and now I'm living in this alien lives in a very peaceful realm, or this one that had like made all these. I don't want to say right or wrong, because everything just is. You just made the choice. But say this person went on, it was like a murderer, and they killed a bunch of people. Their soul then went on, and maybe they didn't come back. They went to another planet, and they were on this planet where there's just horrid. It's like hell almost. And they're living that life. And then when they die, they get another chance to come back to Earth and try their choices over again. Maybe they learned something of this, right? Right? And so these other aliens are coming back. They're like, wait, we know. We're trying to help you because we know what's really going on here. We understand why these souls are, you know, are happening, what's happening, right? Then there's also a complete opposite side of that also could all be bullshit.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
That entire theory could just be not true. But it's pretty weird to think about because if you think about how much we've been studying like biocentrism, I think I brought that up, where your intention and the energy and your thoughts and your choices, how it has a particular effect on the way that your reality is created in front of you, right? There's things you can't control, obviously, but that has an effect on what you're experiencing in your reality, as well as like your own thoughts and the way you decide to listen to this thought or this thought and suffer internally, or you can ignore that and follow your heart, like you said at the very beginning. I just, you know, choose to follow my heart. That's great. It's very true. Very, very good way to be, and that really just is something that's kind of been sitting with me for a really long time. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe it's not it. You know, I would like to know, but also that's just my own human curiosity. I'm totally cool with what the fuck's going on right now. Like, just chilling, talking into a podcast. You know, I'm totally satisfied.
Dude, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, we could think all these different theories, and they could all, like, maybe on some percentage, some level be true or are happening, is, you know, some level of truth. But then I was like thinking, I was like, dude, it's so freaking cool that we're even able to just bounce back and forth like this, like talk about it. Cause that's where I was like, and then I was just like brought back to that like moment of here and now. I was like, dude, this is really like what matters. Like, no matter what, like, even if there is so much that I don't know, like, it's good to have, like, that direction or, like, curiosity to take you places, because I feel like that's where expansion comes from, is, like, that curiosity. But then, like, to really enjoy it, like, that's letting go, I think, to, like, be able to let it go and then be like, yeah, well, I'm here. Like, I got here because I thought of this, but then I'm here now, so let me just soak it in a little bit and, like, yeah, be present.
That. Yeah. That's a very good point.
But
honestly, I want to close on that. That was beautiful. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to probably come up with a cool close. Again, this is, like I said, our first take.
Yeah.
First real take. Well, second real take.
Yeah.
Since we had a lot of mess ups or things went wrong. Yeah, I love that. So, again, if you have any inkling on what your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Do you know what's going on here? What is your take? What is your thoughts? What is your beliefs? Send us an email, message, comment on the video below. Do something. I want to know. I'm really curious. Because I hope this reaches a lot of people.
Yeah,
and I hope that like they like listen and like, Josh, you guys are full of shit.
Yeah,
or like, oh, that's an interesting. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
You know, I want to hear all sides because I'm truly curious. So please reach out. You know, we'll have other things. I'll probably have a cool outro where I add some music. Anyways, blah blah. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks, Nikki.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
Dope. You're gonna be on more.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for listening to us.
For having me. Hey, I always have you. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Swimming with Sepsey. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and follow us on our YouTube channel or listen on all platforms or wherever you get your podcasts. Any support is greatly appreciated. You can find us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/swimmingwithsepsey. You can also follow us on Instagram at swimmingwithsepsey. And if something did arise today, maybe you need some clarification or want some help or just need some guidance and don't know where to go, feel free to reach out to me via email, swimmingwithsepsey@gmail.com, or you can find my website at solelyliving.com, where I offer coaching packages, readings, and things of that nature. Again, thank you for tuning in. Very grateful. Namaste. And we'll find you on the next episode of Swimming with Sepsey.